There's a lot that can happen to set things up and to change things up coming after this event. Third and final heat, final action for individual men for day number 3 as the 2019 Dubai CrossFit Championship is getting closer and closer and tighter at the top of the leaderboard. They'll start with 50 cals on the row. And what we've seen so far over the women's side and the men's, that this should be a bit of a buy-in, setting yourself up for the rest of the event.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you're going to be on there for a little amount of time. But we see it so often that, you know, a mere handful of seconds can either set you up beautifully or destroy you massively for the rest of the event. And that, I mean, it is literally anywhere from 3 to 7 seconds amount of time. If you're the first one coming off, you really have to understand how you are feeling coming off and what you're going into, and by how much. Are you really racing to get off that first, or are you just trying to check the box and knock off those 50 calories? And I think that you want to go into this event, check in the box first, push it on the other stuff.
Right side of your screen, your overall leader after 6th event, Roman Karenikov. Just to his left, Lazar Dukic, Jeffrey Adler. Patrick Fellner has moved into 3rd place overall. Came into today in 7th. Elliot Simmons just to his left. Simmons had a great performance at the Run Bike event on the first day of competition. The fastest row split we saw, which I don't recommend, is right about the 2-minute mark that Evan Morris did in heat number 2. But I think safely you'll probably see more of that 2:15 to 2:30 being a more of a conservative time, knowing that this really is just a buy-in to the rest of the event. Not much is going to be won here once he has so much work left to go.
Well, and I mean, and I'm looking across the board, and the strongest character on the floor in Twila Maricano, not first off the row. And in all reality, I mean, he's a bigger athlete as well. He could be in a great position to throw a massive wrench into this, because you would have thought on an event that he wouldn't do very well in the muscle up and the handstand walk. He did pretty dang good. So he's got strength, he's got some capacity. He's going to be able to move these objects.
What do we see Michaela Norman do?
Yeah.
Who set the fastest time for all the women in Heat 2.
Yep.
She was one of the last
People
athletes off the row.
And that to me is a Brent Fikowski strategy. I mean, I wasn't able to see where he was just by what was on the view there, but I could see someone like that going, you know what, I'm choosing to be the last one off the row, because you will all be more tired than I will coming out, you know, getting to the wall ball.
50 cal row is done. We'll move to 40 wall ball shots. Again, it is a 30-pound ball to a 9-foot target. Vellner will break. He's in lane number 2 in the red and black. To his left is Elliot Simmons. He'll break for the first time. To his right is Jeffrey Adler. Hand in the air for lane 4 and lane 5, Roman Karenikov. Now, if there is an athlete who can just put the pedal down and keep it down, it's Roman Karenikov. We saw that a lot during the Filthy 150, where he went 5 for 6 in event wins at the end of that competition. So Karenikov definitely has the capacity to do so. You know, being joined by the rest of the field. Karenikov holding on to a 10-point lead. In second is Brent Fikowski, 10 points behind him. 7-point back from that is Pat Vellner. Now, the benefit that Fikowski has is that he is right next to Roman, whereas Vellner's over there back in lane number 2. 30 box jump overs at 24 inches. Karenikov is done, and he'll move to a 20-meter lunge with 85 kilos. 10 meters down, 10 meters back. To his left, Lazar Dukic has moved into second. Jason Smith fighting for that second place position, as Karenikov is one step away from his first 10-meter lunge. 10 meters down, 10 meters back, 20 meters total. After this is that 10 rope climbs.
Well, we see everyone coming down. We know that Roman is pushing hard, and that's, I think we're rolling the dice here. Khrennikov is pushing. That's what he does. He just goes for it, pedal to the metal type of a setup. All these other athletes are kind of hanging back. Now, Brent Fikowski was one of the last people off the box. Made his way, was going pretty decent on the lunge. Pat Vellner, same thing. Really seeming like he's holding back as they get through this lunge. And with the ladies, you didn't have to smash the first half. You just had to be consistent until you can open up on that second half.
But you did have to do well on the 10 rope climbs, and that's where we saw a big difference between a lot of these athletes. So Khrennikov, even after all that work, doesn't even have a full rep lead on Brent Fikowski. And look what Brent Fikowski just did, is that he put his feet on the ground but kept his hands on the rope. So Fikowski, he's in lane number 6. Touch the top, feet at the bottom, doesn't even let go of the rope.
Talk about staying engaged. When we had Catherine up here, she's like, you don't want to move away from the rope. That's the ultimate right there, not moving away. The hands never come off. On the ground, pulls his feet up, and he's also not wasting the jump. Not wasting any kind of leg on his jump. He's a tall athlete, so he can get his hands up, reach them up nice and high, and then he just keeps his arms straight, locks his feet, stands up nice and tall.
And just like that, Fikowski has moved himself into first place as he has 4 rope climbs left to go. Khrennikov is taking that break, and
look how tired he looks. He looks like that now. This is starting to set into him.
And the one thing I like is that Fikowski doesn't have to jump to get an advantage on the rope climb. Still doing it in 2 pulls, and that actually saves a lot of energy. We were talking earlier about having a slightly higher box jump being more intense than just a shorter one, regardless of 30 inches or 24. Same thing for a bar facing burpee versus a regular. That little jump has a surprising demand on your fatigue level.
Well, it's 10 extra explosive movements that you don't need to do. So you're really able to save a lot of energy with that.
Fikowski just blew the doors off those 10 rope climbs. Now Roman is just behind him, followed by Jason Smith, Patrick Vellner. So 2 athletes, Vellner and Fikowski, that are trying to just sneak away as many points as they can. Not necessarily have to make it all in this event. What Fikowski's going to need is he's going to need Vellner or Smith to sneak up between him and Roman.
Here's what I think is going to happen. I think that Roman was blowing the doors off of the field, and he felt that. That was a good thing. He was feeling good about himself there. I don't think he realized how good Brent Fikowski was going into those rope climbs. The fact that Brent was able to pass him so quickly and right away, now Roman is having to deal with the fact of, okay, I can get ahead of Brent again, but what am I going to do on the rope climbs? Because he crushed me on the rope climbs. And we still have 5 rope climbs left to go, and the way that Brent Fikowski was operating, he will pass, even if he's 2 rope climbs ahead. Fikowski's going to beat him there.
And in the air for Fikowski first. Khrennikov just behind him, but Khrennikov has now moved back ahead of Brent Fikowski, moving from 25 cals to 20 wall ball shots.
Oh, I like what Brent Fikowski is doing. Do you see how he's putting the ball just to the side of his head? That's keeping that ball up higher, keeping it to his shoulder, and he's actually alternating, trying to not get one side fatigued more than the other side.
Fikowski just to Khrennikov's right. And these athletes are step for step as we move through for 20 wall ball shots to the box jump overs. Now, we know Khrennikov was faster on the box jump overs where Fikowski was a bit more controlled, but Fikowski picked up the bar and moved the bar quicker than Khrennikov did on the walking lunges they have coming up after this.
Well, the fact that Jason Smith just kind of peeked into the picture there as well, that I think is going to be a huge help for Brent Fikowski. We talked about those other athletes needing to kind of get up there and separate. Even though Roman is at the bar with Brent, Roman knows what Brent is going to do on that rope, so he's waiting. Brent is waiting for Jason Smith to hop up there.
Fikowski with the step through. He's not even pausing in the middle. Look at the difference between him and Karenikov. Here comes Jason Smith behind Fikowski. And Fikowski making a late charge. The time to beat was 12:34. Now it's just a matter of how much Fikowski's going to be under that.
Wow.
So Fikowski takes first in this heat as Smith and Roman get to the rig simultaneously. If Smith can get ahead of him, that will put Karenikov and Fikowski tied for first place coming into the final day of competition. Fikowski, 2 rope climbs to go. Karenikov, Smith going back and forth. Karenikov, 2 reps. Smith, 2 reps. Fikowski, 1 more. So the race for first is locked up, but the battle for second is going to come to a sprint finish at the end, but Brent Fikowski is going to win event number 7, and the professor wins another long chipper event.
I tell you, that guy, his pacing, it's so incredible to see how he can, you know that he had rep for rep, how much time every single one of those reps was supposed to take, because he lets everybody go ahead. And the longer the event, the more that works in his favor, but that was executed perfectly.
Here comes Pat Vellner. That's going to be good for Vellner, keeping him contention in the top 3. Björkvar Carl Gudmundsson. All athletes under the time to beat coming in from the previous heat. Now, it's good for Karenikov is that he only lost 5 points to Brent Fikowski, so he should still be in first place after this event going into the final day. Lazar Jukic. Another athlete under the time to beat. This is a fast heat.
Wow.
This athlete showing why they're in heat 3 and in the top 10. Jeffrey Adler across the finish line. Yet another underneath that time cap. Edmonds was before him. Two athletes left on the floor, Travis Mayer, Tolo Marquinhos. So oldest Ubenik's time has come into play. Some good gamesmanship between Fikowski and Karenikov.
That was a great battle with those guys. It was fun to see how they were kind of chess matching it back and forth.
And to see Jason Smith come into play towards the end of that and Karenikov able to hold him off.
Man, you really got a feel for Travis Merritt right now. We've seen him for so long. In the last couple of years, he's had these ups and downs. It's tough to stay in the game when the whole floor is off and finish like that. That's a tough position to be in.
Mayer, 4 rope climbs left to go. Tola just getting to the rig for his first attempt. They have 90 seconds, so they have the time to finish. And it does matter in terms of what they get because the best time from heat 1 was right around that 13:20 mark. So now Alex Katulis' time. Just over 1 minute and 15 seconds remaining before we hit that 15-minute time cap. Athletes coming to cheer on our final 2 just to show them that they finished before them. So at least that's how it feels to me. Travis Mayer will cross the finish line well underneath that 15-minute cap. Tolo Marquinhos is only 1 rep behind that, so he has 1 more to go. And that'll close out the men's individual competition for day number 3. Fikowski, who is sitting in second, 10 points behind Roman Karenikov. much needed first place finish, although he could have used a couple people in between him and Roman, but Roman was able to hold off Jason Smith for that second place finish.
And that was great awareness by Roman, knowing that Jason Smith was right there. Jason did a great job. I mean, he was inching his way up, but Roman was just able to kind of keep that awareness, keep him back, pick up the speed just a little bit. But man, the strategic execution of that event by Brent Fikowski was ideal.